If you want peace in your business, you need to manage your mind. Chew on that for a second. Hey, and welcome back to the Mind Your Business Mentor podcast. I'm Stephanie. I'm your mentor and your host. And I created this podcast for the entrepreneur that is operating all alone, better known as a solopreneur. And they were doing that because they were pursuing a dream of working for themselves. But now they're struggling to find how to live their life somewhere between, to alleviate the overwhelm, to alleviate the overwork, to alleviate busy work, uncertainty, unclear direction, vision, so forth. We are talking about alignment. We are talking about time scheduling, effective time scheduling, and we are talking about money management that will fund it all. That's what we talk about here at the Mind Your Business Mentor podcast. This episode, which I said is part 3 of a series, and we have been talking to the different relationships within your personality. So we heard from the boss, and then you've heard from the employee, but now it's time for the manager to step in. See, the manager is the voice of alignment, the one responsible for harmony, structure, keeping the whole operation flowing. The boss casts the vision and the employee does the work. The manager makes sure that the work actually gets us to the vision. Let's get to it. I learned about the technician, the entrepreneur, and the manager in the book, The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. That book really cracked open a whole new understanding of entrepreneurship for me. It helped me get those internal personalities. First, it gave them a name, and it helped me make some type of sense out of all of the chaos that I was feeling internally as an entrepreneur. Because I do know the roles, I was able to separate them and understand how to respect them and use them to the best of their ability, letting everybody do what they do best. But knowing that internally, our goal is to create an asset, to build a business that doesn't require our presence to generate the type of income, and to be an asset to us versus a liability, something that needs to be paid for or worked or constantly labored over in order for the wheels to keep turning. It's taking time because, the systems change, the direction changes slightly, how you want to deliver the services might change, partnerships change, things change. So you keep pivoting and adjusting. But the beautiful part is that I have the boss to drive the vision. I have the employee to do the work, and I have the manager to make sure that we keep it all straight and that we stay true to the plan. Now, I'd like to address the employee portion of Stephanie. I hear what you're saying in regards to the burnout. I hear what you're saying in regards to not being clear on what the direction is completely. And any part that I may have played in that, I apologize. We can't control the boss. We need to let the boss's wings flow. We need to let her do her thing, because it is the ideas, the motivation, the ambition from the boss that makes these other roles in us even possible or necessary, right? You were reprimanded about your inconsistency. I see both sides. I see that you haven't been consistent because you weren't crystal clear on the vision or the tasks, and the work that you were asked to do sometimes was a lot. It was overwhelming. You actually probably needed to get someone else's assistance, some help, or to learn a system that can help shrink down that time to speed things up. And we have been using a lot of those systems. We do our autoresponder through our emails. We use ChatGPT to get us off of the blank page and to get the ideas flowing and structured. We use Manning Chat to do our auto responses on Instagram. We use the Meta suite to schedule out posts when we are posting. Yeah, that part. There's a lot of things that we do that are trying to eliminate that. And all I can say to you, sweetheart, is just to stay fast, steadfast, stay in the game. As the manager, one of my jobs is to help you love the process. Don't focus on the outcome. Don't focus on the results. Focus on the task that you have identified that is going to enable you to get the results, and fall in love with strictly the process. If you can fall in love with what you do on a daily basis, what you want out of life will happen haphazardly. It will just unfold. It's like math. 1 and 1 always equals 2. Unless we're talking about compound interest, and then I'm gonna stay on the subject. But that is the deal. That is my job. And I take it wholeheartedly. Everybody said that except for the employee. And I can speak for the employee right now because she takes it wholeheartedly. Every aspect of Stephanie takes this mission seriously and work it wholeheartedly, because this is our life. Our life is our business, and we are learning and will manage it and mind it well. So today I'm going to step into the shoes of the manager and give you an aspect of where they go and what they do. That often overlooked, the manager is the bridge between the boss and the employee that's doing the daily grind. We're about that structure, communication, alignment, systems, and ways to keep things in order so that the growth doesn't hurt us and that we are in position to grow in the first place. The manager is not here to pick sides. She's here to align systems with strategy. Episode 8 was raw. The employee was burnt out, unsure. And then employee 9 was powerful. The boss showed up strong as usual, bold as usual, unapologetic for sure. But sis, why are you taking credit? Now I'm talking to the boss. Why would she be taking credit for processes and systems and procedures? That's my job. That's my job. So, because you turned around and told the employee that you gave her systems, you gave her the time management, focus blocks, and the well, you didn't speak on this, but like the lifestyle dashboard and the content creation log and tracker and the filing system. That's really not your forte there, sister. That would be the manager. That would be I. And let me quit slapping this microphone because y'all have to, I be King Konging over here, be beating on my chest. My fault. Let me slow down. But the manager brings rhythm. She sets up meetings. She tracks progress. She logs. She documents. She puts things in order. She makes things look easy, even when they're not. She holds both the vision and the checklist. Without the manager, the boss dreams too much and the employee drowns in chaos. The manager is the glue. She brings the boardroom all together. So let's talk about the boardroom. Back in 2014, I was sitting with a friend and I had an out of body experience, right? I was super tired. I had been burning my candle on both ends, handling all the things at home, transporting my kids to all of their events, attending their events, cooking dinner, washing clothes, spending special time, quality time with my husband, you name it. I was doing everything and I was just burnt out. And I was sitting talking with a friend and I zoned out. When I zoned out, I could hear my friend talking in the background, like the Charlie Brown wah 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 wah, but I couldn't hear I couldn't hear what they were saying. I started daydreaming, and I was in this room where I kind of felt fuzzy, like I was kind of like transparent to a certain degree, but I was there. It's almost like when you have a dream at night. You're like watching the dream. You're there, but you're not there. You know, dreams are strange. And so was this. So I'm sitting there and there's all these people. They're all women, and some are standing up, walking around, looking for a place to sit at this long boardroom table style sitting. We were in like a conference room, like a boardroom. And there's all these women and they're all sitting down, and I can't really make them out because, once again, it's just like dreams. You can't really make out everything. You can just see the hustle and bustle. You can hear what's going on. And the women all started sitting down, and certain women were trying to get people to quiet down. It's like, oh, we're getting ready to start. We're getting ready to start. Be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. And as everybody started to settle down, I was able to focus, and I started looking at everybody at the table, and they all seemed very similar, and they all seemed very familiar. And reason being was because it was me. The women at this table were all different aspects of my personality. So there was the quiet, bubbly one. There was the quiet one. There was the bubbly one that was just super over the board, helpful, smiling and helping everybody. There was the bossy one. There was the skeptical one. There was the one that was just waiting for somebody to give her the cue to take off earrings and turn the rings around and grease up her knuckles. She is something else. And then there were just a lot of people. And then there were some in the room that I didn't recognize at all. Right. And they weren't even sitting at the table because it was standing room only at this point. There was a lot of them. And there were some that are standing in the corner. And then they started the meeting and she's like, okay, babe, be quiet, be quiet, quiet. She looked and she pointed and she said, you're not the boss. She said, you're not the boss. And she said, and you are not the boss. And I was like, well, I hope she don't point at me because I never said I was the boss. But she said, none of us are the boss, but we do have a single purpose. And that purpose is to protect and progress her. And she pointed at me. And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't even think y'all could see me, let alone. And I said, what is she talking about, me? And then, let the truth be known. That's when everybody's faces came into focus. Like, oh, snap. These are all a part of me. Well, who are these ones standing up over here and over here that I don't recognize? She said, and anybody that's not on that page and anybody that can't get with it, you are free to leave. And the ones that I didn't recognize started leaving the room. And at first I couldn't really make it out. Right. And I don't want to give y'all too much detail on this because we got a lot to talk about today. But I say that to say that was the first time that my complexity of my personality was visual to me. And I was so grateful for God giving me that vision, because at the end of the meeting, the bottom line was, we are going to trust what each one of our personalities, our strengths, we're going to trust that when that person steps to the front, that they are the right person for the job at that moment. And the only way to really master that skill is to learn who you are, is to master yourself, is to really take notice and be intentional about who you are as a person, what you want, and because of your personality, the best way to get it. Right? So that's a seed that's also planted in the ground of the NYB lifestyle, as far as all of these different aspects of your personality. And as we look at the NYB lifestyle and all the different aspects of your life, such as personal growth, business, financial, quality of life, contribution, and relationships, right? Not last and definitely not least, relationships. So, it was mind blowing, but that was the day that we decided to be our own best friend, to be our own cheerleader. And It hasn't been 100% successful journey even since I got that revelation, but I have the revelation. And because I have the revelation, I'm always able to refer back. Right. And the more I refer back, the less I will have to refer back because it'll just be what it is. It'll just be who I am. Right. Ultimate goal, being, just to be, because that's enough. That's enough. God gave you breath to see another day. God gave you breath to see another day, and hopefully to represent and to be that God-like character that someone else who may not even believe in God can see to restore their faith in whatever, whether it be kindness, business opportunities, making dreams come true, uh, being being helpful, whatever aspect it is, you be a representation of that, or a part of you can be a representation in that. And we decided that whoever steps to the front, we're going to trust them 100%. We're going to back them up. We're going to be in the background cheerleading and be like, girl, handle your business. Let me know when you're ready to tap me in. Let me know when you're ready to tap me in. Right? That was the goal. And we're going to be our own best friend. So that's the boardroom. Um, I have a boardroom. You have a boardroom. Your internal alignment practice, right? This experience for me taught me a lot, and I hope that you got something from it as well. But let's talk about how you can establish your own boardroom. Here's how it works. I want you to sit in stillness and invite your entrepreneur, your boss, your visionary. And then I want you to invite your inner employee, the executor, and then the inner manager, your systems builder. Bring them all to the table and ask each one, what do you need? What are you afraid of? And what needs need to be done today to move us forward? This is how we stop fighting with ourselves and start working together. Now, I love to share with you some books and resources that have helped me shape the MYB lifestyle concept in its whole, right? The first book would be Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because that's where the name came from. Chapter 3 or chapter 4, depending on which version you're reading, where it says, mind your own business. It was talking about assets. And when I came up with Mind Your Business, it was talking about the most important asset that I see, and that is you, right? Without you, there would be no business. You are the most valuable asset to your business and any venture that you find yourself pursuing. If you can master that, if you can build that, if you can refine that and develop that and cultivate that, that meaning you, there's nothing you can't do. It doesn't matter what you're pursuing, because you will pursue it with excellence, with intention, with purpose, and most importantly, you're going to have fun doing it because you're doing what you want to do, right? Another book would be The E-Myth. The E-Myth is where I learned about the entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician. Those are the official names that I call the boss, the employee, and the manager, right? And then there is The One Thing by Gary Keller. The book that pushed me over the edge was The 4-Hour Work Week from Tim Ferriss. And then there's Think and Grow Rich, the Black Choice. There's the 12-week year, Profit First. Then there's the Life book by John and Missy Poulter. That is not a book to read. It's a book to write, right? It's a book about yourself. Now, I mention all these things because these are books that I have inside of the community, not the actual book. You would still have to purchase your copy of the book, but a study guide, chapter by chapter, with questions, journal prompts, worksheets, so that you don't just read the book, you study the book, you immerse yourself in the book, and you pull out those pieces of the book that will fit into your MYB lifestyle, the lifestyle that you are building that is intentional and in alignment with who you are as a person and what you want out of life and the business that you started. Because your business is the vehicle that facilitates the life that you want to live, not you using your life to facilitate the business. Does that make sense? That's the journey, right? That's the journey, is to create a system for living. And that system for living includes your personal life, and that system for living includes your business. And that business makes all of those things possible because it is your fulfillment that you get from day to day. It's what you do every day. It's your contribution in the form of service that you offer to other people. And it is the provision that you need to live the type of lifestyle that you want to live. Just to give you a glimpse of what mine's may be, I want to travel. I've raised a number of children, my biological children and then my stepchildren. Love them all for life. I've raised some children. I've been married twice. I've created households and I've helped family members, and I've been I worked in the community. I've done a lot for other people. And it's, I don't say that because I was not doing for myself, because when I was doing for them, I was doing for myself, because it's just who I am, right? I truly enjoyed it. Truly don't need a pat on the back because it doesn't require it. I was just doing what I like to do, right? I was just doing what I wanted to do. And now I'm like, I want to get outside. I want to travel. I want to see the world. I want to see the United States. I want to walk through history, and I want to create history of my own. Right? I want to walk through memories, and I want to create memories of my own. And I want to do that with my friends and my family. And I plan on, taking multiple vacations like it is in the 4-Hour Work Week. If you've never read any of the books that I mentioned, join the community. Join the community and start reading these books and going through the chapter by chapter worksheets, questionnaires, journal prompts, so that you can really study the books and apply those portions of the book to the parts of your life that would make your life better than it was yesterday, more enjoyable than it was last year, and push you to the future that you are destined to live, but to enjoy the present. Because we look at the future, oh, one day, but that one day is today. That one day is today. Today is the day that you get to live out loud. Today is the day that you get to make the decisions that will make you more confident, more loving, more joyful, faithful, more in tune with the things that are going on around you, make your vision clear so that you can see opportunities as they pop up. All these things work together. That's why we look at the different aspects of your MYB lifestyle, those categories, and we look at them separately, but we look at them separately so that we can intertwine them together to make a life that you will love. You will love. So I thank you so much for watching another episode of the Mind Your Business Mentor podcast. You made a powerful decision to push play, and I am grateful that you let me accompany you on this journey throughout our walk of building this unbelievable life that's customized. Because the life that I'm building is going to look different than the other person's life. And the life that you are building is going to look totally different than the person right next to you. But the beautiful part is we don't have to do it alone. We don't have to do it by ourselves. I know there's a lot going on online. I know that you probably belong to a lot of different organizations, whatnot. I get it. Get in where it is going to benefit you the most. The time that you spend inside of whatever spaces that you find yourself in, get the most out of it. Keep it in alignment with your vision. Number one, create your vision. Know exactly where you're headed so that you know how to get there. Know exactly where you're headed so that when you reverse engineer it and break it all the way down to your daily habits, and knowing that all you have to do is focus on these daily habits, and what it is that you're walking toward will be manifested before you know it. But you got to be consistent. You got to map it out. You got to plan it out. You got to stay clear. You got to stay focused. And most importantly, you have to mind your business.